one resource that is indispensable, a sip of which can hydrate the mind, body and senses all at once. Tasteless yet flavorful, transparent yet reflecting all the colors of the rainbow in the sun. This is one substance that you can't ever get enough of. Water, the elixir of life. Water is found almost everywhere. 3/4 of this planet is made up of it. It's a major constituent of the human body, and the fluffy white clouds that float about in the heavens too are nothing but vaporized water. But it all begins in the many layers of the rock and soil in the earth itself. The ground, after all, is the very source of water. And over the past few years, Chennai has been blessed with an ever-rising water table.
So every citizen has a role to play. That is why the law which was enacted in 2002 said this, that every house should have harvesting. In 2005, Chennai experienced a record rainfall, the northeast monsoon from October to December. So that really pushed up all the water table in the entire city. Wells which had remained dry for 10, 20 years came back alive. See, some harvesting plus some good rain was essentially the reason for bringing it back.
But this recent rise in the city's groundwater levels can't be taken for granted. About 60% of Chennai's needs are met by groundwater resources, and the first step to sustaining it begins at every home. Primarily, there are two kinds of aquifers that people can tap: shallow and deep aquifers. How deep a well has to be will depend on the soil type of an area. Chennai city has three kinds of soils in different areas: rocky, sandy and clay. Level and quality of water depends upon this. At the Little Mount area, rock formation occurs at about 3 feet itself, while at Besanagar you hit rock bottom only by 60 feet. Now studies reveal that water from a shallow aquifer is a lot more tastier, and this is what gets recharged immediately after the monsoons.
People had migrated from open wells to deep bore wells. So, when you talk of groundwater, you should clearly understand that there are two layers of groundwater. One we call the shallow layer, which is tapped by either open wells or tube wells, we call them, or the water that is available within rock, which is the deeper strata, which we call the deeper layer. So once people have migrated from the shallow to the deep, they didn't bother to come back to the shallow level.
So ideally, each house should have a deep tube well as well as a shallow dug well, and these can be used as one unit.
So therefore, we at the Rain Center thought this is very important to create awareness about all this. And then we called it conjunctive use of aquifers. What we mean by that is immediately after monsoon, when your shallow groundwater table gets replenished, tap that for 3 or 4 months after the monsoon ends.
So you have a rainwater harvesting plant in your building. Better yet, it's functional. But what about all that water that floods your driveway? 9 times out of 10, it's forgotten. A study by the Rain Center revealed that many of the 310 plots in Gandhinagar did not harvest their driveway surface runoff. Now this is not a good thing, folks.
in those days when water was available, groundwater was available in plenty, the wells that they dug was only about 20 feet or 30 feet, not more than 30. But then since the water table receded, the wells went dry. So one way of getting back the well alive is to deepen those wells. You can do that by putting in smaller rings within the wells.
The days of chasing after water tankers and fighting over an extra bucket of water are long gone. But the sustainable use of groundwater is what every house owner should consciously practice. If every building in the city has the necessary features, then Chennai will never have to relive the nightmare of dwindling water levels.
After 2005, there is a sustainable rainfall also we are getting. So the water level has been maintained and the quality also improved. So in the year 2005, before 2003, in top aquifer, say 30 feet well has been dry. Now we are having in the 30 feet well dry, now we are getting 3 meters of water. From ground level we are getting 3 meters. So 10 feet, less than 10 feet we are getting water in the shallow aquifer.
Studies by the Rain Centre reveal that Chennai still doesn't harvest all the water it gets because about 50% of the total received rainwater goes back into the sea each year. So the trick here is to harvest water and recharge it back to the ground until your cup runneth over. See you soon.